speak of flattening, and St Kilda was just that earlier in the day at Adelaide Oval. They got a shellacking. They were 63-point losers in the end to Matthew Nick's side, and really they just invited the home crowd in early. We know how parochial it can be there, and they conceded the first 5 goals. It wasn't pretty for Ross Lyon's side.
No, it wasn't. You know a team's really struggling when you see how many walk-in goals the opposition kicked. So Adelaide kicked 3 goals from the goal square, essentially like half a metre out, and a lot of those came in the first quarter. So I think Ross Lyon needs to drive this group harder. Like, that's just not good enough. To be able to give that goal up early in the game is so deflating. We'll see another one here on the boundary line, missed tackle, walk-in goal. Like, how deflating is that? It's from half a metre out, and that happened so often. They kicked 11 goals from inside 30 metres. There's the captain v captain, Steele v Dawson. Who wants that more?
Not pretty.
Jack Steele just can't go with him, and Jordan Dawson, who is a star of the competition, goes, I'm going to bury this from 60. So deflating. So I think Ross has an issue with trying to be a bit too nice. They got him to be the hard, demanding, high standard setting coach that we know him for. He hasn't been that in my time, certainly from what I'm witnessing from the outside, and he's letting this group off with efforts, and this is always going to be a talking point, Sarah. You can see their numbers from last year. They hate talking about it. They'll say, oh no, we moved the ball fast off half back, and who cares? You can't score. That was your average last year. You were 15th, and today wasn't much better.
That's last year, but what about today? Do we give them a little bit of an out? Because personnel issues, I mean, they've got some stars out, Kane, in terms of Max King, Mateus Philippou, even Mitch Owens and a Liam Henry. These are players that could provide a fair bit of spark and scoring prowess.
No doubt, and that hurts, but Max King doesn't ever play a full season. There's, to say that he's injured, well, he's always injured, so I'm not sure you can rely on him. But the efforts that I showed in that first little package there has nothing to do with personnel. That's simple tackle or simple get the ball over the boundary line and go to a throw-in and set up the ground. So you've really got to drive those things hard regardless of the personnel. And when you've been telling everyone throughout the off-season that we're young, don't get your expectations up, they haven't said it in so many words, but we're hearing it, then no one's really expecting them to be good. And they looked every bit a bottom 4 side as we probably predicted in the pre-season.
Well, let's hear from St Kilda coach Ross Lyon.
We've got a lot of work to do, but we know that. I mean, we've been really competitive for final series, but we've got to keep building. The Crows have been building for 6 years, so, they've got their challenges like we all have. Yeah, our ability to defend them and the ground was not at the level that's required or I'm used to delivering. So coaches and players have got a bit of work to do.
I liked that bit where he said that I'm used to delivering. And that's a little bit about the high standards that I said that I think he's just backed off a bit. He feels like he's just, I don't want to offend anyone. I want to make sure we can recruit players. I want to make sure it's a happy environment so players want to join our footy club. No, what makes you great is that you are, expected to deliver those things like you always have. And I think he's gone away from that.
Has he lost his edge at all, Kane? And I guess a follow-up to that question is, on the eve of the season, the Saints, they did re-sign him, extending him to 2027. I mean, should they have done that?
Well, I'm not sure about those strategies. Each club seems to be really paranoid about having a coach on a short tenure. The Western Bulldogs are the only ones that are sort of embracing it, which I like. Now, Ross needs some time, there's no doubt about that, but there's certainly been a language change at that club, because when he took over, the list was better than what they've delivered. They were expecting to drive them up the ladder. And if I hear one more time that they played in a final in 2023, I'm going to pull my hair out. I couldn't care less. You lost a final in 2023. It's now 2025, and you look every bit of bottom 4 side. So can we stop mentioning 2023? Please, Ross. I urge you to stop mentioning that. It's driving me insane.
What's gambling really costing you? For free and confidential support, call the number on the screen or visit the website.